Hello, Charlie here from Lubricate, and today we're going to do an oil and filter change on this 2010 Ford Flex with EcoBoost. We've got our complete kit here from Lubricate ready to go. It includes 6 quarts of full synthetic 5W20 oil. And I've stepped up to the AC Delco PF63 filter because I'm running synthetic. We've got our window clean to tell us when we need to service again, our oil diverter, our glove, and our box to drain into, so let's get started. It's a lever right there inside, and then there's a yellow knob right here in the front that you use to open up the hood. Like most cars these days, you can see that the cap is labeled here with the type of oil, 5W20. I'm going to go ahead and remove this cap, and that lets air into the system as we let the oil out below. I'm also going to pop the dipstick, which is right here in the front as well, and that prevents oil from getting trapped in that tube. As you'll see, I've got this car on ramps, much like you would do at home, and this car has a guard on the bottom here that's very simple to remove. There are just 4 quarter-turn buckles, one on each end. Just give that a turn, and that opens up like that, and do the other 3, and then it's a clip here in the front that it should just slide right out of. You can push that on back. Now, on this car, the oil filter is super easy to get to. It's right here in the front of the engine. Again, this is the front of the car here. This is the front bumper, and so directly underneath there is the filter, and then just on back a little bit further at the base of this big pan here is the drain plug, and it's right there. It's right there on the bottom of that aluminum oil pan. Okay, now this car uses a 15 millimeter socket, and I like to use a ratchet wrench because I can set it out in free space and know that I have it set to loosen, and then not worry about getting confused as to which way is righty-tighty or lefty-loosey when I'm working on the bottom side and back side of the fastener. So we're going to go ahead and get this loose. All right, there we go. And I can do it by hand now. But before I take that out, I'll make sure I got my my box underneath it. This is my lined box, or you can use your own oil pan. And as you can see, this outlet is right on the side of this thing, so the oil is really going to squirt out the side, and it's hard to know where it's going to go. So I'm going to take my oil diverter here and put it between the exhaust and the frame rail, because this is a aluminum drain pan, so the magnets won't stick to the aluminum, but they'll stick just fine to these other parts around here. Wipe off around where the plug goes here, and then we'll just reinsert that. A few more drops still coming out. Flip my ratchet so that we can tighten that up. Okay, that ought to do it. So we're ready to move on to the oil filter. All right, so I've shifted around here a little bit. Have my box up here underneath the oil filter, and I'm going to see if I can't just get this oil filter by hand. A lot of times they're not, too tight. Actually, they don't really have to be all super tight. And this one's coming off by hand just fine. So I'll get it started. It should start to run. There it goes. We'll catch that in the box and let some of that oil come on out of there before I go ahead and screw it all the way off. So let's see, most of that's run out. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can unscrew the rest of it. Try to keep some little pressure on it so that when it does come loose from the threads, it doesn't just fall away and splash in the bucket or something like that. It's pretty loose. Okay, there we go. Before I put the new filter in, I want to lubricate the seal So I'm going to open up one of these things of oil here, and you can squeeze the pouch just a little bit to bring the oil up to the top, get a little bit on your finger, and then put it around here on the rubber. This way allows that to slide nicely along the mount as you're tightening it up that last 3/4 of a turn. All right, so now what I want to do is wipe off where the filter goes, and especially this flat metal seal around the bottom, so that I get a clean seal with the new filter. And this one you should just be able to start threading it on. Okay, there it started. Let it come up and make contact. So it's in contact with the seal there now. And now I should turn it 3/4 of a turn. So here's where I'm pointing now. So that'd be 3/4. I think I'm gonna go a little bit more just to be sure. 3/4 to 1 turn, that would be 1 turn there. And that ought to do it for the oil filter. It's as simple as that. All right, so we're ready to put the oil back into the engine. And I'm gonna use the oil diverter here again and put it in the opening. Catch this under this little front tab that holds that in place. And now I'll use it as a funnel to help me pour in the oil here on the top side. And again, this is 5W20 oil. This car calls for 6 quarts of full synthetic. The non-EcoBoost uses 5.5 quarts. You can flatten these bags almost like you would like a ketchup pouch to get all the oil out of it. All right, so here's our last one. This would be number 6, and we'll start the engine. Of course, before we start anything, we want to, put the cap back on and put the dipstick back in, and then we'll start it up, let it run for just a minute, make sure we don't have any leaks, and then check our levels. All right, you get a clean dip. Yeah, we're right here, kind of halfway between the 2 marks there. So I think we're in good shape. We'll call this job done.